There comes a moment in every life, a moment that shakes the breath from your chest and dares you to rise, when the sky folds its wings around you and whispers your name, not as the world calls it, but as heaven inscribed it in fire. You, beloved, are the chosen one, not by accident, not by chance. You have been summoned, not merely to walk, but to war, not with fists or fury, but with fire and faith. Your next mission is to kill a demon. Yes, a demon. Not the kind that dances in shadows with horns and forked tongues, but the one that lives closer, the one that knows your name, your weakness, your fears, and speaks in your voice when you're alone in the silence. That demon, the one that has followed you since childhood, sometimes as doubt, sometimes as shame, sometimes as the echo of a lie someone told you when you were too young to fight back. You know it, you've heard it, felt it, that slow burning voice that says you are not enough. You are holy because you have survived. The battlefield is not some distant land, dear heart. It is right here in your thoughts, in your choices, in the way you speak to yourself when no one else is listening. That demon is not in the mirror, but in the meaning you've assigned to what you see. The scars on your skin are not signs of shame. They are signatures of survival. The tears you've cried were not wasted. They watered the roots of your becoming. The failures you've faced were not signs to stop. They were road signs pointing you to a new path, a higher climb. But to kill a demon, you must be willing to confront it, to name it. You cannot defeat what you pretend isn't there. So speak it, call it out. Say, I see you doubt, I see you fear, I see you self-hate, I see you unworthiness, but I will no longer bow to you. And don't just speak it once, speak it daily. Speak it until your voice grows wings and your back straightens beneath the weight of your own authority. Speak it until the demon begins to tremble, not because it hears you, but because it believes you. You were not made for defeat, you were made for dominion. Every time you survived what should have broken you, you grew a sword. Every time you forgave someone who didn't deserve it, you carved a shield. Every time you got back up with dirt on your knees and tears in your eyes, you put on armor. You are already armed, chosen one. You only need to believe that the war is winnable. But beware, this demon is clever. It knows how to shape-shift. One day it looks like procrastination. The next it wears the mask of toxic relationships. Some days it disguises itself as busyness, numbing, distraction, or even perfectionism. It whispers, you're not ready, or they won't understand you, or you're too much. But every time it speaks you must speak louder, not with noise but with truth, with love, with presence. You must speak as the heavens would. Look it in the eye and declare, I was chosen before the foundations of the earth were laid. I am not a mistake. I am not alone, and I am not afraid. This is a holy calling. Killing this demon is not just for your sake, it is for the sake of every soul who will rise because they watched you rise first. There are generations tied to your healing. There are nations tied to your courage. You are the one they've been waiting for. The one who breaks the cycle, who dares to change the narrative, who refuses to pass on pain like an inheritance. You are not just fighting for your future, you are rewriting your past. That demon held your mother, it haunted your father, it danced around your family like a curse. But you, yes, you were chosen to end it. You do not need permission to be powerful. You do not need a title to carry truth. You do not need applause to validate your purpose. You only need to remember. Remember the fire in your belly. Remember the dreams you buried because someone told you they were impossible. Remember the little child inside you who still believes in magic. That child still lives in you. That child is not weak. That child is your compass, your prophet, your proof that hope never dies. It only sleeps when we forget to wake it. You have everything you need to win, but you must walk like you believe it, speak like you believe it, love like you believe it, pray like you believe it. And when that demon shows up again, and it will, You look it in the eye, not with hatred but with holy defiance, and you say, "Not today, not ever again," because the battle may rage, but victory has already been written in your favor. And understand this: killing a demon is not about perfection, it is about persistence. You will fall, you will grow weary, you will have nights when the weight feels unbearable, and mornings when you question your calling. But keep going. Even when you're limping, even when you're crawling, keep going. The demon's greatest weapon is your surrender. But as long as you rise, as long as you breathe, as long as you believe, you are winning. Every step forward is a funeral march for your fears. Every boundary you set is a dagger through the heart of shame. Every time you choose love over bitterness, truth over lies, and purpose over fear, you kill it, piece by piece, thought by thought, day by sacred day. There is no magic formula, no easy road. Killing the demon is the path of the warrior, the path of the prophet, the path of the wounded healer. It is not a glamorous fight, it is a glorious one. And the glory is not in the battle itself, but in who you become on the battlefield. Stronger, clearer, freer, holier. You will emerge not only victorious but transformed. And oh, when you do, when you kill that demon, your life will not be the same. Your voice will ring with authority. Your steps will carry thunder. Your very presence will be a rebuke to darkness. People will ask you, "How did you do it?" And you will smile, not with pride, but with peace, and say, "I remembered who I was. I believed. I kept going." And that will be enough. That will be everything. So go now, chosen one. The battlefield awaits, but so does your destiny. The demon is trembling. The heavens are watching. The earth is holding its breath. And your soul is ready. Pick up your courage. Lift your head. Set your heart like flint. Because your next mission is not just to survive, it is to slay. And you were born for this. And so you walk, not as the one who is uncertain, not as the one who is waiting for signs in the sky, but as the one who understands now, finally, that the sign has always been your breath, your waking, your survival. Every morning you rose despite the battle, every laugh that cracked through your sorrow, every moment you were supposed to give in but chose instead to hold on. That was the sign. You have always been the prophecy in motion, a living, breathing reminder that divine intention cannot be buried by human pain. And now your steps are holy, not because they are without struggle, but because they are rooted in decision, deciding again and again to walk, when it would have been easier to wither. This mission you've accepted is not a single moment of fire. It is a lifetime of rising. You don't kill this demon just once. You kill it every time it tries to enter your home through the crack of an unhealed wound. You kill it every time it tries to poison your relationships with lies from your past. You kill it when you choose to speak up in rooms that tried to silence you. When you choose to dream again after the last one fell apart. When you choose to forgive yourself for believing the lies in the first place. It will come dressed in many forms. But do not be dismayed. For the armor of a chosen soul is not worn on the body, it is forged in the spirit. Your spirit has already endured more than most could bear. You carry stories that would make empires weep. You carry the hush of generations, the hush of people who were not allowed to cry, not allowed to feel, not allowed to break. But you have the courage to cry. And that is not weakness, that is your weapon. Because the tears you've shed have washed away illusions. They've cleared the dust of trauma off your mirror, so you could see clearly the warrior you've become. That clarity is dangerous to darkness. It is the beginning of the end for any demon that still thought you were blind. There will be days when you are tempted to go back, to return to the silence that once kept you safe, to the smallness that once shielded you. That's natural. Even the boldest of us want to feel the soft arms of comfort now and then. But hear me, you were not built for smallness. You were not chosen for comfort. You were chosen for change. And change costs something. It costs you the illusion that you must stay broken to be loved. It costs you the lie that you must be quiet to be accepted. It costs you the mask you wore to make everyone else comfortable while you suffocated inside. Let them be uncomfortable. Let the world adjust to your truth. You were never meant to shrink for someone else's fear. You were meant to expand, to explode with purpose, to burn so brightly that even your shadows dance in light. When you speak your truth, the chains start to rattle. When you move in alignment, the walls begin to crack. When you love yourself fully, fiercely, without apology, the demon cannot breathe. That's how you kill it. You suffocate it with truth. You starve it with wholeness. You drown it in light. It's not an instant process. There will be days when the demon seems quiet, and you'll wonder if you imagined it. You didn't. It's waiting, watching, hoping you'll grow weary again. And that's why you must keep feeding your soul. Keep your spirit nourished with the words of life. Keep sacred company, those who fan your flame, not douse it. Keep singing your song, even when your voice trembles. Keep dancing, even when the weight tries to anchor your limbs. Because movement is resistance, joy is rebellion, hope is warfare. And you, my dear, are all three wrapped in flesh. Do not underestimate the significance of this mission. For every time you slay that demon within you, a child somewhere breathes easier. A friend finds the courage to speak. A stranger discovers their own light, because yours lit the way. The ripple of your healing touches places you'll never see. That is the magnitude of your obedience. That is the power of your choice. You think this mission is only about you, but it is about the 1,000 souls connected to you through unseen threads of spirit. When you rise, they rise too. But remember, the demon does not only whisper, sometimes it screams. It tries to scare you back into submission. It throws your past in your face, paints it like prophecy, and tells you nothing new can come from you. But look at you now, still here, still rising, still reaching. If your past were proof of your limits, you would not be here reading these words with fire in your belly and resolve in your chest. Your past is not your prophecy, it is your preparation. The pain didn't come to destroy you, it came to forge you. You are forged now, refined. You've stood in the furnace of betrayal, rejection, grief, and guilt, and you're still standing. That's not an accident, that's evidence. Evidence that you are who they feared you might become. Evidence that heaven still works wonders. Evidence that the demon is already losing. You are the evidence. So stop waiting for confirmation. Stop waiting for perfect clarity. The mission has already begun, and you're further along than you realize. And I know, oh I know, there are nights when you feel alone, when the weight of being chosen feels like a burden, and not a blessing. When you'd give anything for someone to say, I see you, I understand. And though I may not be in the room with you, I am here in these words, holding your hands in spirit. You are not alone. The sky watches you with pride. The stars sing over your journey. Every tree, every wind, every breath of the earth knows who you are. You are heaven's secret weapon, clothed in skin and perseverance. You were wrapped in fire, and sent to a world drowning in lies. Of course you feel heavy, of course the path feels narrow, but that's how you know it's sacred. The demon you're called to kill may be louder now because it knows the time is short. It knows your awakening is near, so it sends distractions. It sends counterfeit people. It sends comparison, fatigue, confusion. But do not be fooled. The chaos is not a curse, it's confirmation. The shaking means the old systems are breaking. The noise means your spirit is getting too loud to ignore. You are rising, and when you rise, everything that was built to contain you must crumble. But you must stay steady. Don't run from the discomfort. Don't numb it. Don't mask it. Sit with it. Learn from it. Let the discomfort teach you where the lie lives. Let the pain show you where the wound is still bleeding. That is where the demon hides. not in the world but in the wound, and healing that wound, that's how you end it. Not by pretending it never hurt, not by burying it under performance, but by looking it in the eye, opening your arms to yourself, and saying, even here, I love me. Oh beloved, can you imagine the power of that kind of self-love? The kind that doesn't need permission, the kind that holds your younger self close and whispers, you didn't deserve that, but you made it. The kind that doesn't rush your healing, but honors every layer, every scar, every story. That kind of love is revolutionary. It breaks generational chains. It silences inner critics. It sends demons fleeing. Because love, real, fierce, unapologetic love, is the most terrifying weapon you can wield. And when you turn that weapon on the darkness inside you, when you stop waiting to be perfect before you embrace your own heart, baby, that's when the war is over. You're not becoming powerful. You've always been powerful. You're just remembering, peeling back the layers the world placed on you, shedding the names that were never yours, reclaiming the rhythm of your own voice. That's what this mission is about. Not becoming someone new but becoming fully yourself. The version of you that was always there beneath the debris. The version of you who never doubted your worth. The version who walks with the confidence of heaven because you know who walks beside you. So when the demon rises again, and it will, don't be surprised. Be ready. Don't flinch. Don't fold. Stand in your truth. You've already won more battles than most will ever see. You've conquered nights of silence, days of despair, and still you dared to love, to try, to hope. That is not weakness. That is warriorhood. That is what being chosen looks like. Not being untouched by pain, but being undefeated by it. This isn't a pep talk. This is a war cry. This is a reminder written in the language of fire and soul. This is your moment. You don't have to wait for another miracle. You are the miracle. You are the shift. You are the sign. You are the storm. So go kill that demon with your joy, with your clarity, with your refusal to back down. Go reclaim every space it tried to steal from you. Go build the life it said you could never have. Go walk in the light that it told you was too bright. Go love louder than the lies. Go be the proof. And when you stand, not just victorious but transformed, don't forget who you are. Don't forget what you've done. Don't forget the battle scars that shimmer like medals. And if someone asks how you did it, how you overcame what was meant to bury you, how you stayed standing when everything else fell, tell them the truth. Tell them you remembered. Tell them you believed. Tell them you stopped negotiating with fear and started dancing with faith. Tell them you killed a demon. And then tell them they can too. And if your hands shake as you tell them, let them. Let the tremble be your trumpet. Let the weakness be part of the testimony. For the world doesn't need more polished masks. It needs raw, honest fire. It needs the kind of story that says, yes, I bled. Yes, I doubted. Yes, I almost gave up. But I didn't. And that was enough. Because that's the truth, isn't it? That surviving, some days barely, some days boldly, is enough. That standing in your own skin fully awake, after walking through valleys of torment and confusion, is a sacred defiance. That your presence, your pulse, your persistence, is the kind of miracle that forces even the darkness to bow in reverence. There is nothing soft about this, nothing easy about becoming the one who slays demons. The world romanticizes resilience, wraps it in ribbons and poetry, but you know better. You know that resilience is born on the bathroom floor, in the middle of the night, when you are too tired to cry but too faithful to quit. You know that strength is built in silence, when no one sees the fight but you still fight. You know that becoming chosen is not about being the strongest, or the smartest, or the loudest. It is about saying yes, when everything inside of you wants to say no, and not just once, over and over. Yes, I will rise. Yes, I will forgive. Yes, I will keep going, even when the road disappears beneath my feet. And there will be moments still when the demon returns in disguise. Not as fear this time but as comfort. As people who mean well but speak death into your dreams. As opportunities that pay well but cost your soul. As distractions dressed up as destiny. You must learn the sound of your spirit's voice. You must learn how your soul says no. Because not every good thing is a God thing. Not every open door leads to your calling. And not every quiet moment means you've lost the war. Sometimes silence is where the strategy is formed. Trust your knowing. Trust your inner fire. You didn't come this far by accident. You've been guided even in your wandering. You've been shaped even in your breaking. Nothing has been wasted. Not one heartbreak. Not one betrayal. Not even the seasons where you abandoned yourself to be loved by others. All of it was the curriculum. All of it was the forge. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not missing anything. You are right on time, with everything you need already blooming within you. And when you feel tired, truly tired, the kind of weary that sleep won't fix, don't mistake that for failure. It is not a sign that you are weak. It is a signal that you are shedding old skins. The death of who you were always precedes the rise of who you are becoming. So let yourself rest. Let yourself cry. Let yourself be held, by heaven, by nature, by those few who love you deeply and without condition. You don't have to carry this alone. Even the strongest need to be reminded that they are held, that they are worthy, even when they're not winning. You are not here to be small and silent so others can feel tall. You are here to rise, to roar, to reign. And in doing so you give others permission to do the same. That is how you kill a demon, not with violence but with vibrancy, with life fully lived, with light fully unleashed, with purpose fully embraced. You will lose things on this path, people who cannot see you, stories that no longer fit, identities that once protected you. Let them fall, let them leave. Not all endings are tragic. Some are invitations, some are redirections, some are quiet mercies dressed as closed doors. You are not being punished, you are being purified, not abandoned, but aligned, and every letting go is making room for what has been waiting to find you all along. So lift your chin, chosen one. You have cried long enough. You have knelt long enough. You have doubted long enough. Now it is time to stand. Stand not in arrogance but in authority. The kind of authority that comes not from ego but from endurance. The kind that doesn't need to shout, because it is felt. You don't have to prove you're chosen. The fruit of your life will speak for itself. The way people feel around you. The way truth lingers after you leave a room. The way you change the temperature with your presence. That is power. That is purpose. That is the residue of the mission. And when you finally look back, and you'll be stunned. You'll trace the path with tear-streaked fingers and whisper, I made it, not in spite of the battle but because of it. You'll see how every tear watered something sacred, how every heartbreak cleared space for something true, how the demon, in trying to destroy you, actually refined you, strengthened you, taught you the language of your own soul, and you'll know deep in your marrow that you were never the victim. You were always the weapon, not a weapon that wounds but one that awakens. A sword of spirit, a flame of freedom. A beacon of what it means to walk through hell and come back glowing. That is what you are. Not just a survivor, not just a fighter, but a mirror of heaven, walking the earth with eyes wide open and love on your tongue. And if ever, even after all this, you still wonder if you're strong enough, remember the fact that you are still here is the answer. The fact that your heart still hopes is the answer. The fact that you've read these words to the end is the answer. You were born to do this, and not only do it, but finish it. To stare the demon down, smile through the tears and say, I don't fear you anymore, because I have finally remembered who I am. And that is enough. And when the sun begins to rise inside you, when the warmth of your own worth begins to stir from that long sleep, You'll wonder how you ever let that demon speak louder than your light. You'll marvel at how you once mistook the echo of fear for the voice of truth. And you'll grieve a little, perhaps, for all the days lost in the fog, all the moments you hesitated, all the joy you postponed. But even that grief is sacred. It's not the sadness of the defeated, but the mourning of someone who has finally returned to themselves. It's the sorrow of the soul awakening, stretching after a long night of forgetting. You will not stay in that sorrow. You will rise through it. You will use it. You will let it baptize you into a new beginning. The demon didn't just come to stop you. It came to test you, to ask, do you really believe what you say? Do you really think you're worthy? Do you really trust the voice inside? And when you answer, not with your lips but with your life, it will vanish like smoke. Because demons cannot dwell where belief is alive. They cannot feed where the spirit is full. They thrive in neglect, in self-abandonment, in the empty places where your own love has not yet arrived. But now you are filling those places. You are showing up for yourself. You are loving the parts of you that no one clapped for, that no one cheered. And that love is a fire no demon can survive. You have come too far to turn back. Even if the road ahead is unfamiliar, even if your legs are tired, and the voices of doubt try to call you by old names, keep going. Because there is a you that exists on the other side of this mission, a you that does not flinch at the mirror, a you that walks with the elegance of someone who has forgiven every version of themselves, a you that sings, not to be heard, but because you are free. That you is waiting, and every step you take in truth brings you closer. You must understand, this isn't just about courage. This is about alignment, about bringing your mind, your heart, your actions and your spirit into one rhythm. That's when the real power flows, not when you pretend to be fearless, but when you are honest enough to admit you are afraid, and still choose to move forward. That is divine bravery. That is spiritual royalty. And that kind of courage shakes the ground. Don't you see it? Don't you feel it? The shaking isn't just the falling away of what no longer belongs. It's the sound of your soul stretching to make room for the sacred. It's the sound of the veil lifting, of lies unraveling, of purpose taking its rightful place at the center of your being. That's why it's uncomfortable. That's why it feels like everything familiar is crumbling. Because it is. And it must. You cannot carry old cages into new callings. You cannot build altars to your future with bricks made of fear. So let it crumble, let it fall, let the noise of what used to be echo into silence, so the truth of what is becoming can speak. Your mission is not to keep things as they were. Your mission is to clear space for what is true, for what is divine, for what is you, unfiltered, unhidden, unafraid. And that means letting go of the people who don't recognize you anymore. It means releasing the titles, the habits, the roles you outgrew but clung to for comfort. There is no comfort in captivity. You were made for freedom. And freedom demands honesty. So be honest with yourself first. Tell the truth about what hurts. Tell the truth about what you need. Tell the truth about what you've been pretending not to feel. Because pretending is a prison, and the demon, clever as it is, will use your silence to build walls around your joy. But when you begin to speak, really speak, those walls start to crack. Your truth is a chisel. Use it. And don't worry if your voice shakes. Don't worry if your first attempts feel clumsy or incomplete. Speak anyway. Heal anyway. Love anyway. The first step is not perfection, it's presence. And once you become present with your own soul, you'll realize you've always had what it takes. You just needed to believe yourself again. You needed to hear your own voice rise above the noise. And when it does, you'll recognize it. Not as something new but as something ancient. As the voice of every woman who ever stood in fire, and did not burn. As the voice of every man who ever wept alone, but rose up holy. As the voice of every ancestor who ever prayed for someone just like you. You are not just one person walking this road. You are a culmination, a continuation, a living answer to prayers you don't remember praying. And the moment you begin to own that, the demon begins to lose its grip. Because the demon cannot fight legacy. It cannot undo divine assignment. It cannot silence a soul that knows it was sent. So when you rise, and you will do so with gentleness, do so with grace. You don't need to be hard to be powerful. You don't need to be loud to be mighty. Sometimes the softest step is the most radical. Sometimes the tenderest truth is the fiercest sword. Don't confuse harshness with strength. Your strength is not in how loudly you roar, but in how deeply you feel, in how bravely you choose love, in how quietly you refuse to give up. And even if the demon tries one last time to scream, to tempt, to seduce you back into silence, smile. Not with arrogance but with certainty. Smile because you know now that fear can knock, but you don't have to answer. That shame can rise, but you don't have to agree. That the past can call, but you no longer live there. You've moved. You've grown. You've crossed over. The demon is still speaking in the language of your old self, but you beautiful, powerful, sacred you don't speak that tongue anymore. You speak freedom now. You speak healing now. You speak purpose and clarity, and joy. And that language confuses the enemy, because the demon was counting on your silence. It was betting on your resignation, but it did not prepare for your rebirth. And now, it is too late. Because your soul has remembered. Because your fire is awake. Because your tears have turned into rivers of resolve. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop a soul that has decided to live. So live. Live boldly. Live beautifully. Live with your whole heart, even when it's bruised. Live with your hands open, your voice strong, your spirit stretched wide across the sky. Let every breath you take be a reminder. You won. You made it. You killed the demon. Not all at once, not without scars, but with grace, with grit, with God. And now you are free. And if ever again you feel the pull of that darkness, if you hear the whisper that tries to unwrite all that you've become, stand still. Place your hand over your heart. Feel the pulse of your own becoming, and say aloud, even if your voice is faint, I have already overcome. I have already risen. I am already whole, because you are. You are not just the chosen one. You are the living proof.